Hello, my name is Nujum and this is Bastion. This is a rather old game. It came out in 2003, so I guess not that old. I think it came out in 2003, I shouldn't be sure. It was made by a company called SuperGiantGames. Let me actually look up. Oh, it's 2011, July 20th, probably on Xbox Live. Bastion, let's go. I have beaten this game once before, and I think it'll be fun. I'll try to be somewhat game designy.
Supposed to start at the beginning. Ain't so simple with this one.
Yeah, we're starting end media res, boys.
Got all twisted, leaving him stranded on a rock in the sky. He gets up, sets off.
So the first thing you'll,
where everyone agreed to go in case of trouble.
I'll try not to talk over the narrator because I think he adds a lot to this game. First thing you'll notice, the game looks amazing. YouTube tends to add a darkness to videos, so we'll go ahead and pump it up a bit. I'll try not to talk over the narrator as well because I think he adds a lot to this game. So first thing you'll notice, isometric view. This is sort of a point of contention for me personally. I don't like isometric games as much because I feel like there's constantly things hidden in here, and occasionally there will be bits that I think I can walk on that I actually can't. If you're doing a game, I feel like having it top down or having it just something flat is easier to see from a gameplay perspective. However,
feet as it pointing the way. You don't stop to wonder why.
Don't question the game, man. However, isometric I think looks a lot prettier, right? And I think that's why they went with this, because look at this, looks amazing. It gives you so much more detail to show than if you were doing this top down or side scrolling, right? It emphasizes the 3D-ness of it all, basically. So let's take a look here. We're not going to pretend that this is...
lifelong friend, just lying in the road.
We're not going to pretend that this is logical, but the good news is the story is not necessarily... The good news is the story never really has to address it. It just sort of ignores it, and it goes on making a good story, which I quite like.
Well, it's a touching reunion.
I don't like it when games try too hard to make their story believable, right? When you try to really get into why magic works. I don't mind it when games do it a little bit, especially when it creates a basis for why certain types of gameplay is limited.
In the calamity.
Let me put it this way, story that limits gameplay, I can accept that. Story that's just kind of there and does nothing and can be kind of annoying. This is kind of annoying. I don't know why they did this. Spoiler alert,
he falls to his death.
You can't get to that.
I'm just fooling.
I'm just fooling. Yeah, the reason I think this is here is just to show that you can fall. Because up until this point, right, you've had walls. Can I not walk on that? Really? No, I can walk on that. In fact, I'm a little bit in the air. Oh, there we go. That makes sense. They don't want you to be like, what? Did I fall off of that? No way, that's bullshit. No. But yeah, I think the only reason this is here is so that players can fall and realize, hey, I can fall. But it still annoys me. Because I feel like that's something the player would have figured out eventually. You don't need to teach them that. That was this really annoying moment, but whatever, right? Up! See? It's really easy to learn.
No, ma'am. It's a gas fella. Forced out from underground.
So this is our first, super cool, interesting word, gas fella. First peek into the Bastion world. Spoiler about Bastion's world. It has a lot of interesting characteristics to it.
It pops him good. Starts to
Gonna kill him with the roll. We took damage there. Let me actually talk about the core gameplay a bit. You have your first mouse button to do your basic attacks, and then your second mouse button can do attacks, but I haven't unlocked them yet. You see down in the bottom right here, I'm going to get a bunch of stuff here that is going to exemplify the gameplay. There's your health up here. It doesn't really look like health because it's not labeled and there's no numbers. That's a really sort of styled choice that they did. I think they didn't want the screen cluttered. You can see how minimalistic this UI is, right? XP is there, and over here we're about to get healing potions, which is going to be fun. Ooh, a second
gift
weapon.
from the gods, but it'll have to do.
Fun fact, you don't actually have to pick this up, but it's generally preferred.
Gotta hold her still to spin up the chamber.
Actually, another fun fact, you don't have to kill the guy down there. You can actually just run past him, which I found quite funny when I found out.
By now, so that fountain looks real inviting. Sometimes you just need a drink.
That's a really cool thing they do. They let you basically heal at fountains.
Up around him. Must have fled here from the mines.
This is the other enemy, one of the other main enemies you'll be fighting, squirts. Especially in this level. Oh my god, there's gonna be a lot of squirts. Found a secret path, and there's gonna be one more secret path up there. We need to go in there to continue progressing the story, but this is kind of cool.
Kid finds a memento from a girl he knew. Always used to fancy her.
So I can press shift for info on this item. And you get this little pack screen. We'll probably talk more about that later, I think. For now,
saloon's still standing. Used to have the nicest view.
Alright, so I've been staying quiet towards the narrator, and hopefully you've been listening to the narrator because it's pretty good. He's about to talk more.
Famous watering holes.
Now, as a note, narrator,
The bartender. The calamity got him for his drinking did.
he tends to add a lot to the game in a very interesting way. Oh, I can't break this. Aw, I'm a little sad.
His trusty shield.
The narrator sort of gives the developer a voice. Normally, when the developer is talking to the player, right, it's through like a sign or something. But this narrator is very interesting. I think I'll talk about it more when I finish the level. But narrator, he's sort of a tutorial, but not really. He's more than anything, he sort of like fills in the lore where background music normally would. I think what they were worried about with the game was that you would spend too much time just doing the same tasks over and over, and so they filled it in by giving you something interesting to think about and to listen to. In the world, the story, spoiler alert, it's going to have a lot of mystery to it, it's going to have a lot of questions left unanswered, and that's intentional because that's what makes the story interesting. Mystery is interesting to think about, that's fun. Let's see what we have here.
The security takes him for a petty thief.
Alright. So check this out. Oh my god, he's shooting at me! Oh my god! You cannot harm me! I have a shield. It's apparently invulnerable, even though it looks like it's wood. Oh, I should have broken those boxes. Whoops. It's been a while since I've played this game. Whoa, this hammer does a lot more than I remember it doing. Can I just break these? Oh god, there's a lot of them. So this is the first thing you gotta learn about Bastion. Don't just run into a mob of enemies, because you're going to get hit a lot, right? That's just how the game works. I don't have the other weapon yet. It's very much a beat 'em up, where you need to learn to take things slowly and like one at a time, or you're just gonna get wrecked. I can like just walk in here and just try and pound all of these little dudes out, but you know, that might end up me game overing, right? Oh my god, there's so many of these. Why are there so many? What the heck? Oh, by the way, the monsters can kill each other, so you might have noticed there. One of that gas fella, he killed the squirts. Sees the way to the Bastion. So the Bastion, by the way, is sort of like a sanctuary type of place. It's pretty cool.
He gets a good look at
But
things.
before we get to the Bastion, we have to go somewhere.
He lands on top of a breaker's bow, and it ain't broke.
Oh, sweet, we get the bow. Oh, I did have a secondary weapon. I was pressing the wrong button. Shoot, we had the Fang Repeater. Okay, I'll go back and grab the Fang Repeater, hopefully. Oh, this is cool. They give you a sort of tutorial section. So there's some cool things you can do with a bow, and basically it's just like sort of a ranged weapon. But, you know, something stringy, another sort of memento-y bit. These, by the way, have very detailed lore, especially when you reach the Bastion. Like, the items end up meaning a lot more than you would think. They do a good job with giving items meaning and trying to fill out the story, which really, when you look at it, is not very detailed. Although I think the story is very interesting in how it presents that's not the button. For people who don't know, my shift button, from people who watch my Minecraft stuff, my shift button is a little bit broken. So, yeah, I'm using tab instead of shift. I think default you have tab as to get your trinkets and shift to get the shield, but I switched around. And now we're gonna fill out our arsenal.
Up a few pointers from a dusty old tome.
Thanks, Tome.
He's a mighty fast learner.
So now we can use Whirlwind, which is really good. And I love the video game commentary there. So yeah, so you see at the bottom there we have 3 things. We have our bow, which if you notice I'm using power shot. How power shot works is like if you just hold right click until you can shoot, it's not a power shot, but if you hold it until he turns white, it does like bonus damage, and that's really useful later. That was not damage I wanted to take, but whatever. The bow's like really fun to use just because like you can shoot from so far away. Like, it's more than you would think. Ooh.
Kid better watch his
Whoa.
step. He finds the distillery.
Whoops.
Right next to the arsenal.
Smash these guys, get a little bit of experience. Experience is surprisingly hard to come by in this game. Here's some more stuff we can mess around with.
And the kid'll feel like a new man.
So this is sort of, in place of proper leveling up, you have these sort of tradable, I don't know, items? It's weird to explain them. I'm gonna take this one because I'm lazy. And I don't really need that much, I don't think. Oh sweet, we can just switch. Ooh, bolt burst. So I've actually not tried this. I don't really use the Fang Repeater much, but I'll go ahead and try for this video. Is there any secrets here? I probably missed a secret or two, but you know, what can you do? Whoa, that's really cool. So that was the special, my Q, which I didn't actually talk very much about. So basically you have 2 weapons and a special attack, and the game gives you a lot of versatility in how you can... The game gives you a lot of versatility in how you can equip your stuff. Or rather, like, the type of loadouts you can, and each weapon feels very different from the other, which I think is really, really good. It's something I wish more games would try to focus on, you know? Just, like, providing more than one way to play the game. And surprisingly few do. By the way, these statues, you can break them without consequence.
The tutor once taught the kid good manners. He never used them, though.
Aw, that's sad. But yeah, all of these statues, you can break them, and you'll actually get little story bits, but there's not really a punishment for breaking them, which is interesting.
Sends the kid on his way.
Just stun you.
Real close now.
What was that? What? That was kind of BS, but whatever. I'm like not even holding the keyboard properly. I'm like, I have one hand off my mouse. Oh god, I'm gonna die. Oh, that was really annoying. So I don't know if you guys noticed that, but when I use my shield to block it, this shield is not controlled by my mouse. You see how my mouse is moving all over the place? Another sort of annoyance of this game is that it has sort of like an auto aim, and from what I can tell, you can't turn it off, right? You can't like control it with your mouse, you just have to rely on the auto aim. And sometimes that's really frustrating when you're surrounded by enemies, which this game does a lot. And it's kind of fun, but don't rely on your shield.
Barley and spoiled blueberries fills the air. Scumbags.
So these are one of the more interesting enemies. Kill them, they have a lot of health, but you basically really want to kill them because they drop all of this goo that slows you and deals damage. And that can be a problem. Why are you not moving? We cool? Oh, okay, you're awake. Something about their AI got stuck there, okay. That's interesting. I've not had that happen before. should probably kill you. Oh god, I took way too much damage. Let's break these. These are sort of like popcorn machines. I wonder if that's like commentary on the value of popcorn. Probably not. I imagine they just thought of a cool way to make enemies come out. Gotta remember to use this. It doesn't seem as good as I first thought it did, if only because the Fang Repeater doesn't deal a lot of damage. Maybe I should have stuck with the bow. It's kind of cool that I can show this. By the way, if you didn't notice, this is a giant gas fella. They do this a few times where they have just giant versions of enemies. It's kind of fun. Oh sweet, we get like a bunch of like monies. I don't know what these are called actually, thinking about it, but that glowy blue thing, that's the currency of the game, so that's cool. These are the gates. Don't question why they look like that. Don't question why they're not like blocking you really when they're closed. Don't question this colorful floor. That's a really cool looking floor, I just realized.
He steals the city's heart. Might as well.
And now we run away. So you might not have realized what just happened. Ooh, let's grab this. Basically I grabbed what's called a core.
Place is starting to fall.
I hit shift, shoot. I'm bad.
See, that core kid took was the only thing
I took what's called a core, and the core is used for a few things. Namely, it's used for doing things with the Bastion. Oh, that's really cool. So normally there's a chase sequence
now
there.
The kid sees something stranger still. His mind races.
And at the end of that chase sequence, you like go through this sort of square that shoots you up in the air, and that leads you to the Bastion. But I guess if you just fall down, you just fall down towards the Bastion, which is nice. Normally that should be a game over. Or like you'll spawn back and you'll just lose a bunch of health.
He finds another.
Are you ready for the big reveal?
He finds me.
Oh snap. So now we get to learn a little bit about the stranger. We have a few things to ask the stranger about. Notice that if I go to my backpack, there's a lot more stuff to ask about, right? Just these two? I don't even know what these two are. What are these two? These two are for interactions with the core, so don't worry about these two. These two are upgrade items, and hopefully you'll see that later on when I get the things that do the upgrading. But these are items to upgrade your weapons, and these are story items, which is really interesting. Basically, you can ask him about him. Ask about what happened to Nacy, the girl who used to pin her hair back. Is she here already? Where is everyone? And if we look at our crystal barrette, it's a memento. It's a fashion accessory covered in sooth. Holds great value of the sentimental variety. Also holds fear firmly in check. Best to hang on to it, just in case.
I tried to let the kid down gently. This is the Bastion, alright. Except no one else showed up.
Mysterious.
All I tell him is to set that core of his on the monument there. Then watch.
So we need to put the core in the monument.
There's
okay.
a bit of the Bastion's power in that crest. Enough to point the way to the cores.
Oh, I should have read all the summaries for these. Oh well. Oh, the core's not in here. Okay. So a memento, an identification badge of the olden days for Celandia. Celandia is something you're gonna hear not very much of, but more in the later half of the game. Celandia is the city that these people are from. It represents warmth, labor, and sacrifice. Da-da-da-da.
And just like that, the Bastion comes alive. Starts growing again. Growing stronger. Kid's gotta put its power to good use. Now the Bastion can send him even farther into the wild unknown.
Can I just say I love that? That moment where just the ground forms, it feels amazing. There's something about, you feel like you know what you're doing. So this is what I mean by interaction with the core. You can pick what to build. The distillery is sort of the potion thing that we used before. I'm gonna go for the arsenal because I want my bow back.
The Bastion's a place of peace, but we can hold our own if we have to.
Oh, no secret skill. Mirror shield. Automatically counter blocks. I don't think I really need that. Causes an arrow to bounce from target to target.
Ain't much kid can't
Not
handle
the
with
greatest,
hammer
but
and
whatever.
hand.
I don't have any of the good ones yet. Actually, it's not bad. The secret skills have a tendency of, like, being cool over being effective. So, yeah. So yeah, I built the arsenal, and I feel really good about it. Oh, I don't think I ever
Kids don't
mentioned,
know
like, I
what's
want to
out
have
there waiting
this Let's Play to be more focused on design type talk. Because this is an old game that's really well held up, I'm going to try to focus even more, which, come to think of it, I think I said I would focus more on game design in my Prison Architect Let's Play. Maybe I shouldn't be making promises until I've kept the promise, if that makes sense. Anyways, I am going to stop here. Thank you all for watching. My name is Nujum. Yeah, if you have any tips or tricks, let me know. I probably will end up posting part of this Let's Play and not all of it, because I think right now I might be able to record another one. I'll think about that on my own. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!